Words are flowing on like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my opened ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. It's the inner world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva.
I don't know about you, but I had shivers running all through my body. Beautiful, Ginger. Thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome, each and every one of you here in person this morning, and each of you in our Zoom community joining us today. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Let's just breathe that in. Just feel the presence that is moving in, around, and through us here in this service today, setting the tone for the week ahead. We are grateful for your presence. Thank you for being.
If you would all repeat after me, please. Good morning, by the way. I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and peace.
I open my heart to the
Back to the universe, to love and peace.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and joy.
I open my
heart to the universe, accepting love and joy.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and complete health.
I open my heart to
Heart to the universe,
accepting love and complete health.
complete health.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and abundance.
I open my heart to
Heart to the universe, accepting love, abundance.
So it is.
so it
So it is.
Thank you.
All right, so let's sing Thank You for This Day. It's a call and repeat. So if you don't know the words, just follow along with me. Or listen to your neighbor, because chances are they know this. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. Ooh, so grateful. Thank you. Oh, Lord, thank you. I'm so grateful. Ooh, so grateful. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thanks for singing along.
Terrible at following programs. I forgot to do the invocation, so we'll do it now. There's no time in God, right? Let's all take a nice deep breath. Feel that healing presence. Is the presence of God moving in around through us, expressing the oneness that is us, each and every one of us, right here and right now. We know this presence as the essence of our being. There is nothing else. There is only truth. This is who I am right here and right now. We recognize this presence within ourselves, and we know it, we see it, we feel it, we experience it in each other as well. We know this service today is divinely orchestrated to remind us of this truth, the truth of our being, that we are the divine. It moves through us every minute, every millisecond of our lives. It is all that is. Breathe it in once more, and we appreciate it, remembering that appreciation is divine expansion. And in that appreciation, please join with me in saying thank you. And so it is. Kathy Miller is going to do our reading, and we have a special guest here today, Reverend Roby Chevance, and she'll be doing our talk today, and she put this reading together, Ernest Holmes reading. So, Kathy.
Beautiful readings. They are from 3 writings of Ernest Holmes. I'd like to tell you that 10 Ideas That Make a Difference, Spiritual Awareness, and 365, Science of Mind. So it's beautiful. It just brought me to tears when I first read it. So, there is an inner light into which we may plunge, an inner consciousness in which we may bathe. As water purifies itself by flowing, so our inner realization of the flow of life through us purifies the stagnant pools of our fears and doubts. Travelers crossing the desert, covered with dust and filled with weariness, seek the refreshment of an oasis, the shelter of a rock in a weary land. Seek, the cool shade under a spreading palm. So we, with a mind weary with confusion and exhausted with too much effort, should seek a spiritual oasis, an inner communion with the invisible presence. It is most worthwhile to commune with spirit, to sense and feel it. We commune by listening and feeling the divine presence until the presence is real to us. This is the very essence of communion. This inner communion is essential to the soul and natural to the mind. It is a constant recognition of our relationship to that presence in which we live and move and have our being. Feeling and thinking and sensing this allness, we enter into conscious communion with it, and in some subtle way we do not understand, its essence flows out into our acts, spilling itself in and through everything we do, and bringing to bear upon the problems of life an intelligence greater than the human and a power that is transcendent. And so it is.
All right, this is a song by Stevie Wonder, adapted. We're going to do an affirmation first.
We're going to affirm what we just heard in the reading, right? 'Cause it is us, right? Over here. So this is a call-in response, Kathy. Yeah, camera.
Oh, sorry.
Little comedy routine here.
We are.
Please repeat after me. I plunge into my inner life.
I plunge into my
This inner realization purifies my heart and my mind.
This inner realization purifies my heart and my mind.
I feel this divine presence, and I know it is real.
I feel this divine presence, and I know it is real.
I am in constant communication with it.
I am in constant communication with it.
I know its essence flows into everything that I do.
I know its essence flows into everything I do.
It is the transcendent power in my life.
It is the transcendent power in my life.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to do the Stevie Wonder song. It's called Have a Talk with God. There are people who have let their problems of today lead them to conclude that for them life is not the way. But every problem has an answer, and if yours you cannot find, you can talk it over with him. He will give you peace of mind. If you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Many of us feel we walk alone without a friend, never communicating with the one who lives within, forgetting all about the one that's never ever let you down. You can talk it over with them, 'cause he's always around. If you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Da 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 dum dum da dum da 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 dum da dum da 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 da. He's the only free psychiatrist who's known throughout the world for solving all the problems of men, women, little boys and girls. If you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. If your load's too much to bear, oh, just go talk to God, she cares. If you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Yeah. Thank you.
So, it is my pleasure to welcome Reverend Roby Chevance to the Center for Conscious Living. Reverend Roby really came here through divine intervention. Somehow we all manifested her, and here she is. And she's been in New Jersey now for a few days, and she has been a magnificent healing presence in only the few days she has been here. So I am very pleased to introduce her to you. And to just give you a little background, she is an ordained religious science minister. She was ordained in 2001, and at that time she started her own religious science church in San Diego, and she managed that church for 18 years, I think, Roby, until 2019, right around the time that COVID started. And she is now just a private healer. Roby has so many gifts, I cannot possibly tell you all of them or we would take the whole service, but to just give you some of the highlights, she's an energy healer. She practices the Japanese art of Jorei healing, matrix energetics, psychic consciousness, speaking of which she is a psychic. We had a wonderful workshop Friday night. Many of you in this room were here to experience her intuitive gifts. She is clairvoyant, she is clairaudient, she is clairsentient, and she brought all of that to bear in a beautiful healing session Friday night. We were all so blessed. What else do I want to tell you about Reverend Roby? She has a background in theater and drama. So she's a drama queen, I guess, because she really is a queen. She really is a queen, but in a good way, in a really wonderful way. And she had a weekly online show called The Celebration of Life, and she really featured empowering women. So that was her topic, and she had some big names in the healing field. Ricky Byers was a guest on her show. Judith Orloff, Joan Borisenko were just a few of the very visible women who are out in the world doing this healing work that we are so enamored of ourselves. She also was a member of a documentary with Mark Victor Hansen called Living the Courage Vibes. What else can I say about her? She's just lovely. She's joyful. She's personable. She's energetic. She's vibrant. She's alive. And she's here with us now. I introduce to you Reverend Roby Chevance.
Yay. Oh,
Thank you so much.
yay. I'm going to step up here and be officious because I actually wrote a sermon today, which is unusual for me. Good morning. It is absolutely my privilege and my honor to share this space with you this morning. I want to thank Reverend Christina. You're an angel, and this community is so blessed to have you. I want to thank the Board of Trustees. I know that you guys are the placeholders for this community, and your work is silent and committed, and it's a beautiful thing. And I was marveling when I walked in this morning at all the beautiful people showing up out of just the space of contribution and giving of their time and treasure and talents, with John and Wayne, Reverend Ken, all of the people here, just so that we can come together in this very sacred and holy moment of our week to practice the presence, to remember spiritual truth. And what a gift it is to have a community. Ginger, your music, your voice, this is my Christmas when I show up and I don't know what the music is going to be, and it's always absolutely spot on perfect. So thank you for your contribution. I just want to take a moment and be present. And let's all just take a moment to be here. And just notice as the unconditional, loving presence, what your conversations have been this morning, your internal dialogue. Just notice. Just notice any of the concerns or worries, hurriedness, anything that's been weighing on you. Just notice it. Just notice it. And now let's just let it all fall away to the bloated nothingness from whence it came in Emerson's beautiful words. Let's take a breath together, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I wonder what wisdom is waiting for your remembrance today. I wonder what magnificence wants to be birthed within you today. I wonder what greater good you can awaken to that you weren't awakened to earlier this morning. I wonder how many possibilities are right where you are that are just waiting for you to actually receive them, to have them. I wonder. And let's all just come back into the room. I have been on a spiritual journey from birth. I was one of those lucky ones that was born with my 6 senses, all of them completely intact. I would say I'd been on a spiritual pathway from a very young age, always searching, always seeking to find a pathway where no one was persecuted, demeaned, judged, or harmed in the name of God. And I found religious science at the age of 21, and I have never left. It is one of the most powerful tools that we have available to us today. And I committed my life. I took all the courses 3 times, all 3.5 years, until I became a minister in my late 30s. And even though I was so committed to teaching, so committed to the principles, so committed to these powerful truths that give us complete freedom in our lives, I can tell you at one point of time, it delivered me to being in the hospital for 6 days, almost dying the first night, coming out of the hospital, being bedridden for 3 months from sheer exhaustion and fatigue, and being very, very ill. Heartbroken, angry, and really in a major crisis of faith. How is that possible when you have dedicated your life to being a minister? Well, I'm here to kind of lay open, if you will, some awarenesses that allowed me to more deeply embody this teaching from a place of wholeness, from a place of prosperity, from a place of ease, from a place of joy, from a place of just sheer allowance. But I had to get out of my way. And what did that mean? It meant I had to get out of my judgments, decisions, and conclusions. Oops, there goes my microphone. One moment. I had to get out of my own way because if we are ever in a place where we are not at peace, that is the easiest litmus test for us to know immediately that we have moved outside of principle. Right? I love, Michael Beckwith said, a complaint is evidence that we have never understood principle. Ooh, that's a wake-up call, isn't it? Scripture says, these things I have spoken unto you, John 16:33, that in me you might have peace. In a world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. And I think these words are really applicable right now. How many of us are experiencing a little divisiveness out there? Maybe just a poquito, a tad, a scunch. We must, and there goes my talk, we must turn away from the world. We've heard that saying, to be in the world but not of it, and that spiritual practice is more vital for us now today than ever. I guarantee you the world can handle conflict and divisiveness. They got that. That's their domain. That's their lane. Our lane as practicing religious scientists is God's lane. And it is the lane where, as Scripture says, we get to, quote, count it all joy. Wait, what? Count it all joy? Whatsoever you ask in prayer, believing, you shall receive. It doesn't say some things. It says all things. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. It doesn't say some things. But what we have to do is seek first. And the kingdom of God is where? It's within. So why is it then, and this is going to be a plot point for y'all, why is it then that we are walking through our lives constantly reacting and responding to what's already happened? Constantly looking outside of ourselves, constantly trying to mitigate what's going on in the chaotic realms. Trying to mitigate somebody else's hologram, somebody else's reality, somebody else's interesting point of view. We do that, don't we? We get so caught up with what people think about us. We get so caught up on what might happen to us because XYZ happened over here. You know, or the state of the country, the state of the union, the stock market. Or what our mother-in-law said to us. And that leaves us running around like Chicken Little saying, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. Okay, over here I got to fix this, and over here I got to fix that, and I got to bring peace to this. I've got to make it right. And then we do it to ourselves. Oh, I've got to heal my consciousness. I had a negative thought. I have to do my positive affirmations. And historically, old school religious science, back in the day, now I just want to remind you that I've been around in religious science for a long time. We always used to say, well, how did you create that? How did you create that? What's wrong with your consciousness? You've got to up your consciousness. Which I think was a good start for the application of these teachings. However, we are in the age of enlightenment now, aren't we? We're in a place where science has actually caught up to what these teachings and all the great teachers that came before Ernest Holmes have been saying for hundreds of years. Science is proving that there's something that moves faster than the speed of light, and it is the speed of consciousness, right? Quantum physics has proven that a wave observed particularizes, that what we focus on is what we generate, is what is manifested. We know these things. We know it like the back of our hand, don't we? Yeah. It's one of the greatest gifts that's available for us today is that we are living in the age of enlightenment, and that ancient wisdoms are now scientifically proven. So we can actually stand on principle with even greater confidence, even greater certainty. But why is it that a lot of us with really pure desires, why some of us, we have this amazing hunger and thirst after righteousness? We take our classes, we read the textbook, we do our positive affirmations, we say our spiritual mind treatments, and yet we still find ourselves in distress or feeling separated from our good or in a hospital almost dying. How does that happen? Well, because we don't get out of the way. We're too busy reacting and responding. We're too busy focusing on three-dimensional reality. We make three-dimensional reality more real than that infinite unseen realm. We make the things that have already happened more paramount to our being able to have peace of mind and joy and happiness than actually living from being in that place of divine communion and simply just being the presence, being the activity, being the yes. We erroneously have judgments, decisions, and conclusions that tell us that we're not good enough, that we're not baked in the oven yet, that there's something more that we have to be in order to. It's that in order to that literally creates the separation from the truth of who we are and from our ability to embody this teaching so deeply and easily. What if I told you there's nothing within you that needs to be fixed? What if there was nothing that's broken within you? What if the only thing that is required for you to live into that vision that you have of yourself and your life, what if I told you that the desires of your heart are just right here? And all it takes is the minutest of shifts in your awareness. And what is that shift? It's just a willingness to have it. We just have to be willing. Unconditionally. I can have that. Yes, I'll have that, please. It's getting out of the way, and instead of us trying to come from a place of, well, I know what I need to make me happy. I need a boyfriend. I need a husband. I need more money. Whatever it is that you put out there that you think you have to have before you can be fulfilled or happy, have peace of mind. What if you're already all of those qualities and aspects of God? What if instead you just know that you know that you know that you know, right? That I'm an infinite being. I'm an individualized expression of that one infinite power, that one infinite life, that one infinite intelligence. And all of life has already been given to me so that I may live and that I may live more abundantly. It's already been given. It's already there. And what if instead of us thinking that we have to figure it all out? In the old days, we used to say, well, if it is to be, it's up to me. What if it was already being? Now, I believe that spiritual mind treatment is one of the most powerful tools that we can use to keep us in alignment with principle. And we can mess that up. How do we mess it up? We forget that Ernest Holmes told us to not define the how. We forget that part. And we try to tell God how it's going to happen. Or we try to tell God what it is that's actually going to really make me happy. I want that red car. So I'm going to treat for the red car. And now, when you're saying, I'm going to treat for that car, what's actually back and behind your words, if you pay attention to the energy, I'm trained to follow the energy. That's my whole modus operandi, is to follow the energy, is I don't have the red car. And if I don't have the red car, something's wrong. And if I don't have the red car, I'm really bad and wrong because I haven't manifested the red car yet. What's wrong with me that I haven't manifested the red car? What do I need to change in my consciousness that I don't have the red car? And then we're like, well, I need more money to get the red car. Great, well, I'm going to treat for more money. What's back and behind that? I don't have enough money. I need to get more money. Now, is that communing with the divine? Can you feel that in your body? Does that feel light to you? No, because we're in our heads. We're in judgments, decisions, conclusions. This is what I want. This is what it's going to take to get what I want. And until I have what I want, then obviously something's wrong and I can't be happy. Judgment, 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 judgment. Where is God? Something absolutely pivotal that allowed me to live the principles of science of mind like really. Like really. Ease, grace, joy, have your back relationships, peace, financial flow, new opportunities, was when I learned to ask, to not figure it out, to include the universe, to include God in my life unfolding. Not kinda, but like really, I don't do anything unless I ask. Drives people a little crazy around me. Being here today actually was a result of my asking. What did I ask? After I'd healed, I said, you know, I think I'm ready to be a contribution again out in the world. Now, old school, I would have gone, okay, I'm going to build my website. I got to make my business cards. I come up with my elevator speech. I got to create the outline, make the book. Now, is that light or heavy to you when I say all that? You can feel that. Litmus test, heavy or light. Easiest litmus test to know if you're walking in communion or not. So instead, I asked the question. I included the universe. I wonder what it would look like if I could be a contribution out in the world again. I wonder what that would look like. That's the only question I asked. I wonder what it would look like if I was a contribution out in the world again. And what do you think happened? Out of the middle of nowhere, I get a phone call from some dear friends of mine that were a part of my community, Paul and Tricia. And Tricia's like, hey, Rob, You think you want to come and speak at our center? And how easy is that? Does that feel light or heavy to you? It's really light, right? Now, I didn't have to figure out the details. I didn't have to know anything. I'm like, sure, let's do this. And the whole weekend has just unfolded with greater beauty, greater connection, greater good, greater joy. It's better than I could have ever imagined because I let go of the steering wheel. We live in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities, and yet we go around with our little thimble going, I want this. I need this right here. Instead of like, whoo, yes, bring it on. Bring it on. I'll have that, please. We have to get out of definition and out of space, out of time. Meaning we have to learn to bring God along, to pray without ceasing. Praying without ceasing is the activity of asking, of including the universe in your life, including God in your life. During the time when I was recovering from my illness, I wasn't earning any income. That was kind of fun for a long time, 3 years. And I got to the point where, I couldn't hawk any more jewelry and things were getting a little crazy. So all of a sudden I went, oh, I can ask a question. That's right. So I had this beautiful home, gorgeous executive home. And so I said, I wonder how my house can make me money. I wonder how my house can make me money. I asked that question for 3 days. The phone rang. It was a real estate agent. And she said, do you want to rent your house out? What do you think I said? No. No, I don't want to rent my house out. This is my sanctuary, right? Next day, phone rang. It was a girlfriend. Hey, Rob, I'm at a conference. I met the CEO. She's got a new job at a 501c3 in San Diego. She's looking to rent a house. And the house she described is exactly your house. And I'm like, no, I don't want to rent my house. Oh, that's not a question. So I went, okay, if I rented my house out, where would I live? That's the question I asked. And I have to tell you guys, when you get this power of asking questions, it is so much more fun to go through life this way because this energy, I'm not exaggerating, came up from my toes, came up through me. It was like this fountain of joy. And I just went, oh, Rome. I'm going to go live in Rome, my favorite city in the world. And I got on Airbnb. I found a 1-bedroom next to the Colosseum, and I rented that for 2 weeks' time. This woman, I was out of my house in 3 weeks and on a plane to Rome for a year. No itinerary, didn't know what I was doing. Didn't realize I couldn't stay in Rome for more than 3 months. Misunderstood the visa rules. So then I went to Ireland, and I got to fulfill riding a 17 two-hand horse across those green fields and jumping those little stone walls. It's been a dream of mine since I was a little girl. On my birthday, went back to Rome, ended up in Australia, ended up in New Zealand, ended up in Bali, ended back up in Australia. And everywhere I went was magic. Everywhere I went, there are people like us. I just want you to know this. And I met them on the first day every time I went to a new country. Every time. That's when you get that spirit is impeccable. Impeccable. There is no big or small to the mind that knows all. I once rented a room through an Airbnb in Queensland in Australia on the Sunshine Coast. And I just rented it on the website, and the woman that owned it ended up being one of us. She's like, oh, I'm really sorry, I forgot to tell you, there's going to be a fire meditation on the front lawn on Thursday night. I hope you don't mind. And I met all these expats, all these psychics, and all these spiritual people, and shaman, and Aboriginal medicine man. I got to see the most amazing paranormal phenomenon. One of the Aboriginal medicine men I met went to a dinner. There was just 8 of us, and he told the history of the world before Atlantis and Lemuria. Magical, amazing time of my life. Do you think I could have planned that? If I tried to manage that, manipulate it, control it, I want you to know the universe already knows your heart. The universe already knows your desires intimately, more intimately than you actually know yourself. And the universe can supply the experiences of your life in greater detail than anything you could ever possibly try to concoct yourself. I guarantee it. But we have to get out of reacting and responding. We have to get away from this duality of being where we believe there's something wrong that we have to fix or something about us that has to be healed. We have to let that go. We get to just be perfect, complete, and whole. Exactly as we are right now. Exactly as our lives are right now. We have to stop sludging through three-dimensional reality. We have to stop trying to change effects, trying to change conditions. Does that feel heavy to you or light? Heavy. Must get this out of my life, must heal them. No, here, right here. I wonder what's available for me today that I can't even possibly imagine. You know, one of my favorite questions has created more magic than I ever could possibly imagine. I wonder what it would take for me to wake up every morning feeling as if I had to pinch myself because I could not believe my life was real. I'm going to repeat that for you guys. I wonder what it would take for me to wake up every morning, I'm going to say before coffee, feeling as if I had to pinch myself because I cannot believe my life is real. Would anybody like to have that life? Yeah. Guess what? You can have it. It's right here, right now. We just get to let God in. We get to let the universe in. We get to enter into divine communion and be in that divine communion. We know that we know that we know that we are inextricably linked to Spirit, and that Spirit is always working for us. Always. No matter what the appearances are. Always. So how did it work for me when I was in the hospital with pneumonia, almost died the first night, bedridden for 3 months, lost all my money, traveled around the world for a year. That was pretty cool. Best decision I ever made in my whole life. Oh, I want to add this. Now, I just have to say, because I want, tell me when I have to finish, Reverend Christine. 10 minutes. Okay. Don't ever give a minister a mic, because we'll just talk forever, right? Okay. We're good. Okay. 11. Great. So, we can take these quantum leaps in receiving greater good. We can take these quantum leaps in shifting our state of being from one of worry, doubt, and fear, judgments, decisions, and conclusions, to being an allowance and to being in joy and light and peace and in flow. And it's unknown territory sometimes, isn't it? To boldly go where no one has gone before requires us to go what? Boldly. So here I was, 3 weeks after that first phone call. And oh, by the way, they wanted to rent my house furnished. And oh, by the way, I had a 3-car garage, and they let me put all my personal stuff in one of the garages so I didn't have to pay for storage. And oh, by the way, they paid me rent more than was even what the market would bear, way more. And oh, by the way, they paid me 100% of all of it up front. Outrageous? Absolutely. God job? Absolutely. But I was sitting in the airport in Denver, Colorado, at the gate, waiting for my flight to Rome. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me what I was doing. Scared me out of my body. I was sobbing so hard. There was literally guttural sounds coming out of my mouth that I could not stop. And I thought, oh my God, you have out-Robied Roby. What have you done? What are you doing? You're going to a country you don't know a single person. You don't know anything. You are insane. Terrified. Can you guys feel me? Still got on the plane. Shaking. Got on the plane. What do you think I did on the plane? I asked a question. I wonder how this can turn out better than I ever could possibly imagine. I found out the day after I arrived in Rome, there was a class that was being held in Rome. That was a study that I was studying at the time. It was a 5-day class. I enrolled in that class, showed up, announced that I had just moved to Rome and was looking for a place to live. Literally, a woman walked up to me, a princess from an old Roman family, lived on one of the 7 hills of Rome. Father was a famous architect. Her grandparents had been dairy farmers. Her father had taken this massive industrial dairy farm, turned it into houses, and she said, I'll give you one of my houses. 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, American kitchen, American bathrooms, fireplace, swimming pool, gardens. If you know Rome, that doesn't happen. And she was like, I am so sorry, but can you afford $1,400 a month? I'm like, I think I can swing that. And she had 4 degrees, all for the United States, and ended up taking me to art galleries, touring me through Italy, taking me to parties, took me to her summer home on the island of Ponza. Like I had the time of my life. All because I got on that plane and I asked the question. Can you get it? Now, I could have gone on to the internet and planned out, oh, I want to go see this and I want to go do that. And do you think No, it was magical. Magical. When we ask a question, inherent in asking a question is the belief and the knowledge that there is something greater than us that is going to answer the question. How do you think science is proven? What does science begin with? A question, hypothesis. That's when new discoveries are made. I wonder if this is possible. I wonder what this would look like. So we have to stop thinking that it's up to us to figure it all out. We have to include God and the universe in our lives. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. A sound mind. Peace, poise, power, affluence, productivity, comfort, joy, happiness. Yeah. Another thing Yeshua says is, he said, let the dead bury the dead. What does that mean? I love that scripture, by the way. It's one of my favorite. It's a metaphor. Because he understood that anything that we focus on in the conditioned world already happened. It's dead. But yet we try to go back and fix it, heal it, make it better. We are reacting and responding. When we come into divine communion, we move from reacting and responding to generating and creating. Can you feel the difference in the energy of those two constructs? Reacting, responding, generating, creating. What's available for me today? What good is waiting for me in my day? What good has already been planted in the landscape of my future? I'll have that now, please. Thank you. I'll receive that. When we find ourselves in conversations where we may be holding an alternative point of view than the person we're conversing with, that may be happening every now and then these days. What if we said, what if I remembered this person as a child of God? Would we interact with them differently? What if I remembered that all things are working together for the good? Would I be reacting differently? What if I let go of my judgments, decisions, and conclusions about what I think it should be in order to be working? And what if I just said, I wonder what it's going to look like when this all works out better than we could ever possibly imagine? Then we get to just be the contribution that we came to be on the planet. Then we get to be received wholly from whoever is right in front of us, because we don't have any judgments of them, and all of a sudden they're reminded of their truth, of their greatness, of their magnificence, of their light, because we're just recognizing each other. We're just being together. So much more pleasant, y'all. So let the world do all that craziness. We came here and incarnated at this time specifically because we knew that we were the midwives for the age of enlightenment. That's the other thing. You've got to give yourselves more credit. You get to stand in your power. You get to stand in your light. You get to be present to how magnificent you are, to what contribution you have. It's difficult because all our lives we've been told we weren't great or we weren't good enough. Now we just get to be. What if I was enough? Exactly as I am. What if I got out of my judgments, decisions, or conclusions about what I think I have to have in order to be happy? And what if I just chose happy? See, one of the gifts of the age of enlightenment is that we're actually already moved beyond cause and effect. Wait, what? What, Roby? What? Cause and effect deals with moving an animate object from one place to the other. I must do this in order to create this result. Yes, it's a tool. Yes, it works. However, feel into this, y'all. What happens if you move to I'm causing effect? Feel that. I'm causing effect. Take our power back. Do not give our power to anything or anyone outside of ourselves. That dictates how we can feel or what's available for us. We're not limited by anyone or anything. Okay, so. In closing, I'll just say this one thing. Most people can't live the life they want because they are too busy trying to fix the life they have. We can never get away from what we think isn't perfect, but when we expand our consciousness, we see all things as perfect. We can either be in duality, trying to contemplate oneness, or we can be in oneness, understanding duality. So what I wonder for you, I wonder how easy you can allow yourself to have your life. I wonder how much good are you willing to receive. I wonder how great you're willing to be. I just wonder, I dare you, I double dog dare you to have more joy than you ever thought possible for yourself in your life, just exactly as your life is today. Namaste. I really love you.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you, Reverend Roby. This is one of my songs that I wrote as my Foundations project many years ago.
Everybody's waiting on a revolution. Lift the veil up from the grand illusion. I think first it's gonna take a revelation. Shift our minds and consciously awaken to the positivity. Human beings should be full of love and light and inner peace. Vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, higher, higher. Sing that with me, higher, 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 higher. When I was young, I looked for love in empty places. I got myself into some situations. Now I've grown, I know my past does not define me. And all the love I could ever need is here inside of me. It took so long for me to see. It was waiting here for me. The love, the light, the inner peace. Watch me while I vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, 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 higher. We can walk the earth in search of every explanation, but be aware of your own co-creation. Take responsibility for your conditions, and don't forget the power of your own volition. There is joy just as there is pain. They are one in the same. It's a choice you choose to make. Choose to vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, 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 higher. Let's affirm this. I am love. I am light. I am inner peace. Now you are love. You are love. You are light. Thank you.
Sure. I think we're all in our expanded consciousness right now, aren't we? Thank you to Reverend Roby, and thank you to Ginger as well. I'm going to keep this part short. This is our offertory part of our service, and I have a powerful question for you. I ask you to just go within your heart and ask yourself, how am I to serve? And I ask you for this moment now, in this part of the service, but I ask you especially to take that question with you throughout the week. How am I to serve? Thank you.
So now, if you repeat with me the blessing of our offering found in your program. Thank you, God, for this abundance that is mine to share. I bless this gift and give it to thee in gratitude and joy, knowing that as I give, I do receive.
Thank you, Kay.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We express deep appreciation right here and right now for these blessings coming to us from our community to our community, knowing that these gifts and these tithes are expressions of the energy of the divine flowing in and through and around each one of us as we give to this community and as we receive back. It is the circle of life, and it is moving through us, in us, around us, as us, right here and right now. And in this recognition, please join with me in saying thank you, and so it is.
Thank you, and so it is.
A beautiful service. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the word appreciation lately. And I always thought appreciation meant gratitude. But there's a subtle distinction. It's really not so subtle. But appreciation really has an expansive quality to it. And if we think of, you know, our investments appreciating or real estate appreciating, when we appreciate something truly from within our heart, feel that deep gratitude and love that is the truth of our being. As we radiate that into the world, good things flow and they expand and they continue infinitely, because life is eternal, isn't it? So, in deep gratitude and appreciation for this beautiful service today, thank you very much, Reverend Roby. We are so grateful for your presence here today. I don't even have words. Thank you. And thank you for Trish and Paul for inviting Roby to us today. Thank you, Trish and Paul. And of course, Ginger, our inspired musician. Thank you, Ginger. Kathy Miller, my partner today in service, our inspired practitioner. Thank you, Kathy. And all of you who are here today, who set up this beautiful sacred space, we wouldn't be able to have this service if it were not for each one of you who come here early in the morning on Sunday morning. So I'll run through really quickly. Set up Jane Hobson, who is also one of our board members and our secretary, and Bob Craven. Set up all of our tables that you see. Kay Becknell on altar and ushering today. Her partner in ushering, Chris DeBlois. Peggy is on refreshments today. Thank you, Peggy. And our media team, Marty Levin. Our media team members are such stalwart members of our community. They make our Zoom room possible. Marty, Keith on camera, John Fulmer, who is also our board treasurer, and Wayne, who is on Zoom today. Our Zoom minister, Reverend Ken. Thank you, Reverend Ken, for moderating our Zoom room, and Reverend Catherine for being here as well and being my mentor and my friend, and our senior minister. Pastoral support, Jason Ramirez, one of our second-year practitioner students, as is Ginger. Did I miss anyone? I don't think I did. Great, I got everyone. Altar, yes. Kay has been multitasking. It's beautiful altar today. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, thank you. All right. I just have a few announcements, but very important ones. Remembering Reverend Marlene Volper. Just in deep gratitude and love for all of her contributions over the years to this community. Much of what we are today are due to Reverend Marlene's deep, abiding, committed love for each and every one of us. And as many of you know, she transitioned into her eternal life last Saturday, November 9th, and we are having a service for her this coming Saturday, November 23rd. There will be a viewing from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Givnish Funeral Home on Route 130 in Cinnaminson. You're all invited. And immediately at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Reverend Carol Lawson will be here officiating at her memorial service at the same site. And then at 1 p.m. all afternoon, we will gather for a reception and for sharing of stories and love of Reverend Marlene at the River House. This will be sponsored by CCL, and I will be officiating there, really just moderating your love and your sharing. So you're all invited, and there will be lunch there as well. As you know, we've lost a number of members of our community in the past 5 weeks. On November 10th, just last Sunday, we had a beautiful memorial service, again at the River House for Christine Hopkins, and it really was just a beautiful celebration of life. And our plans are to do the same thing for our beloved Mia Kelly. As most of you know, she transitioned on October 30th, and her dear friend, Holly Myers, who really spent the last few years loving her and caring for her in so many ways, is really putting together a beautiful memorial service in concert with CCL and together with Supriya and with Keith. It will be here at the Community Center Sunday, January 5th, immediately after service, 1 to 5 p.m. It'll be a beautiful celebration. Deb Chamberlain will be here doing music in the morning, and she is staying in the afternoon to offer her musical gifts. And Marcy, Jan, and Will be here as well. So Will, over here, just raise your hand, Will. We're so grateful you'll be here. And I have a surprise announcement. I just got notification early this morning, 7 o'clock this morning, that Bante is coming to CCL. Yeah. For those of you who may be new to our community, Bante is a Buddhist monk. He is from Sri Lanka, and he has been a part of our community for a very long time, many years. I don't know how many. But he comes here periodically and really spreads his blessing and his love. And he couldn't come at a more opportune time in this time of major transition here at CCL in so many ways. And just a brief introduction, Bante is a Sri Lankan monk, and he's based here in Princeton. However, he travels around the world, and he goes where he is needed, oftentimes in places of calamity, earthquakes, and hurricanes, and things like that, major environmental catastrophes. And he really comes and helps the people in a worldly sense, but of course his higher consciousness is always there as well. He will be joining us Sunday, December 8th, so mark your calendars for that. And I'll tell you more about that next week. And finally, I'm going to invite Reverend Roby to come up here once again and tell us about the Miracles of Manifestation workshop that she is offering here today at the River House. Okay, 2 to 5 p.m. Okay, there are flyers in the back. You can register through our newsletter or our website, or you can just show up this afternoon and register. So, Reverend Roby?
Thank you. Yeah, so if you're curious to dive into the power of asking questions a little more deeply today, from 2 to 5, I'm going to walk us through an experiential processes to teach you how to ask questions, how to pay attention to the energy, follow the energy, awaken your awareness, your intuition, so that you can be more present and available for greater good. So if that sounds like something you would like to have in your life, I would love to share the afternoon with you. So please come play with us.
Thank you. Okay, so let's circle up. We're at the end of our service.
As we circle, we're going to do a little variation of a theme. Sorry, I have to read this so I can. Thank you. Close that circle, please.
All right, we're going to sing the peace song.
We're going to do a blessing first.
Oh, blessing.
Okay.
A blessing first.
So, since we're all standing and we have some new visitors, we would like to acknowledge especially Reverend Roby to the left, and then whomever else is here for the first time, and anyone celebrating a birthday, anniversary, really quickly. Everyone, please repeat after me. Welcome to the Center for Conscious Living.
Welcome to the Center for Conscious Living.
We are a heart-centered spiritual community.
We are a heart-centered spiritual community.
We open ourselves to you in love.
We open ourselves to you in love.
We recognize the perfection of God within you.
We
recognize the perfection of God within you.
We celebrate the joyous being that you are.
We
Celebrate the joyous being that you are.
You are a radiant point of light.
You are a radiant point of light.
We are blessed by your presence.
We are blessed by your presence.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
2 quick points. One is that just a reminder that this room closes at 12 noon. We have a contractual arrangement with the community center, so we're going to shut down the refreshments and the coffee at 1:15, and we just need to exit the building, but we have plenty of time for fellowship. The second quick announcement is those of you who are new here, if you'd like to be on our newsletter, and we would love for you to be on our newsletter because all of our communication happens there. This is June Hammond. She's our board president, and she'd be happy to sign you up for the newsletter. Okay.
Ready? We're going to sing the peace song. 1, 2, 3.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with God as our power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And expressing gratitude for this moment, this very moment where we feel the presence of the one, the presence of the allness, the presence of all of us. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We go into this week with our hearts filled with love, compassion, kindness, and that inner voice speaking to us so loudly and beautifully. And now, Reverend Christina.
Including affirmation. That's me, love, joy, and peace. Much of the time. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in all of my activities.
Life is in all my activities.
I receive it.
I receive it.
I share it.
I share it.
I am it.
I am it.
And I accept it.
And I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
In accepting all of these gifts, we say yes.